Here we are on another glorious day of on the way to work, and it really should be a nice day off. But there's a lot of shit to attend to over there, and we can't just let it go by the wayside because we need to make a buck. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm on the FJR today, which is my ride. 650-pound missile made by Yamaha since the early 2000s. I'm gonna give you a little bit of an overview on the bike, not say about it too much, but maybe throw some philosophical stuff out there at you as well as we take a ride from here to Cerritos, and here it'd be Rancho Santa Margarita. So at any rate, here we go. Hang on, buckle up. It's not going to be overly adventurous. We're just going to go with the flow of traffic, get in the carpool lane, set the cruise control, and then have at it from there. So this is the story of my commute on the FJR. It's a nice day here in Southern California. I'm sure, as you can see, got the morning haze is burning off and the skies are turning blue, so that's pretty cool. We get there and around Costa Mesa, though, that might change. It's always a little cloudy down there for a little bit longer, but eventually it resolves to the same situation. Sunny skies, beautiful weather, and oh, we might have got a greenie here. Hold on a minute, boys and girls. Let's do some navigation here. Trying not to get killed by the 7-Up truck. Coming down here, there's a manhole cover that sticks up here. I don't know if you can see it in front of these cars. It's got to stay to the right of that. You hit that at speed, you're getting launched. And we got a light here. We'll back it down and hang for a moment. Let me tell you a little bit about the bike. 2019 FJR 1300, wonderful motorcycle. Got it because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of commuting. I'm in Rancho Santa Margarita, and my job is in Cerritos. That's pretty much exactly 40 miles door to door, right down Oso Parkway, which you're on with me right now. We're going to jump on the 5, which will split, and we'll jump onto the 405 after that, head up in the carpool lane, set the cruise control to roughly 78, and we'll just kind of cruise the rest of the way. Usually, most days, I put some tunes on in the helmet with the help of the Cardo unit, and we listen to some music on the way to work. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to give you a stream of consciousness and some thoughts, and hopefully it makes some sense. We'll get a little video out of it. We'll post it. Maybe people watch it, and maybe they won't, but we'll see. You know, I'm definitely no Lemmy from Revzilla, but I want to tell you a little bit about this bike because so far, it's been a loyal and trusted friend. Really, nothing terrible has happened on it. I've gone through a couple sets of tires, but the last tire I put on it, I checked it, the brakes are still about half-life, and the bike's got 38,000 miles on it, so we're cruising right along. I've ridden it in the rain a bunch of times. I did have one problem, and it's most likely operator-related. I rode it in a torrential downpour. Poor decision on my part. It could have been catastrophic. It really was not a well thought out decision, but I did it, and it cost me an oxygen sensor just because of the sheer amount of water on the roadway. The drops were coming down like little pellets. No, not little pellets, like the size of like crab apples. Picture raindrops falling out of the sky the size of crab apples. I was soaked down to my undies, man. My butthole was soaked. So it got down into it and shorted out the heated O2 sensor, and that's a $150 O2 sensor. So, you know, there you go. Lesson learned. Try not to get dead. Try not to break bike parts. Don't ride in torrential rain anymore. At any rate, this bike is pretty much all weather up to that. You know, obviously Southern California, we're not riding in the snow or the ice or anything like that. So, and I frown upon that at any rate, because there's this thing called black ice back east. You definitely don't want anything to do with that. But I mean, for most weather, light rain, you know, dry weather, cool weather, nighttime, this thing's got great lamps on it. It's real smooth. I ride it back and forth to work every day. If I set the cruise at 78 miles an hour, I'm eking out about 45 miles to the gallon. that's not too bad. Consider that when I get on the highway, I'm really dialing it up. I accelerate up to what I would commonly refer to as passing speed, and you know what I mean. And we get into the carpool lane at that point, and then just set it and cruise. This coming up here is the entrance to the 5. They recently redid this with some decals to make space for a bike lane, because, you know, bikes are so important, because there's only 5 billion cars on the road and about a few thousand bikes, but we got to make room for the bikes because, you know, they're so important. So we got this green thing up here. I'm concerned about this because, not today, you can't really tell, but when I go to work in the morning, which is usually early, I kind of come through this little corner right here, and I got it leaned over pretty good, and that green paint kind of concerns me. I don't know if the tires are going to grip on it, or if they're going to let go and send me sailing into the guardrail. So I approach it very conservatively now. Part that really excites me in the morning. I got to get out in front of it all, take a look over, go for 1, go for 2. A cyber truck in front of me, there's enough room, we'll go for that as well. He's coming over, we got 2 more to go. We're clear on the left, and we're clear 1 more. There we go. Shift her up, set the cruise. Bam! We're in the carpool lane, cruise set, ready to roll. About this bike, I bought it on a whim. I saw it listed over at Del Amo. They really didn't want a lot of money for it. It was owned by a guy before me that had some sort of medical emergency on it, I think. It had some scratch marks and some rough surface on it. It looks like somebody threw it in the back of a pickup truck and it just kind of rolled around back there until they got it to wherever they were going to go. It's not terrible. It doesn't look like it was crashed hard or anything. There's just some scrapage on the bags and whatnot, all cosmetic. So I bought the bike. I got a good deal on it, and I've been riding it ever since. Right now she's got about 38,000 miles on her. I bought her with 9, so, you know, I put 21,000 miles on this machine, right? Is that right? 21? I don't know. No, not 21. 19? My math is escaping me at the moment, but I put a shit ton of miles on this bike in the last year and a half, and it's been a loyal and trusted commuter tool, and that's what it is. It doesn't really do anything spectacularly. It's not the fastest bike out there by far. It's got 140 horsepower, but it weighs 650 pounds, plus my fat ass on it, and all the shit that I keep in the bags, which is a couple cans of Fix-A-Flat, you know, some bungees, yada yada, in case I pick something up. And then on my right bag, I usually carry my lunch with me to work and anything else I might need, a spare jacket, whatever. So with that accessory weight and all that, you know, you figure I'm 180, plus another 20 pounds of other nonsense. That's 200 plus 650. It's 850 pounds on the back of this machine as it's rolling down the road, and it boogies pretty good. So, yeah, we got some water or something here. What is this all about? Not really sure what that was. Hope it's not oil. At any rate, yeah, the bike runs really good. The ABS is absolutely sensational. I've used it a number of times, but I've gotten in situations where it's cycled on. It works just the way that it's supposed to work, and that's pretty cool. We don't want anything less than that. The lighting on the bike is phenomenal. I ride it at night. I usually don't use the high beams unless I have to, and if I put them on, it basically turns the night into daylight. It's relatively comfortable. This bike's got a custom seat on it. It's a little firm, but after I got used to it on my butt, it really didn't matter. It is as comfortable as can be. It has electronic suspension on it, or electric suspension, or whichever way you want to say it. I have it set to the softest setting. I like it like that. It's nice, it's cush, it's comfy, but it doesn't, wobble or bounce or any sort of ridiculousness like that. Now, I imagine if I threw a Pelion on the back, a passenger back there, I'd probably have to change the settings somewhat, but, pound for pound, this thing, it just does everything that it's supposed to do. And I like that. It doesn't do anything that excites me. In fact, if I was going to call it anything, I would call it bland. It's, it doesn't rage. It doesn't, have any bad habits. It just does what it does every single day when I get on it. I light it up, I put fuel in the tank, I climb on the back of it, I ride it to where I'm going to ride it to, and it gets me there at a reasonable level of comfort and in a way that I can only say is the safest possible way to get there on two wheels. It just does it. The windscreen protection is perfect. I wish the windscreen went up a little bit more, but you know what? For the size I am and for what I'm doing with it, it doesn't really matter. I can even drop it down like 2.5 inches, and it's still right over the top of the helmet. It still doesn't get me too much. And it's funny, if I drop this windscreen down 2.5 inches, I get another 2 or 3 miles to the gallon out of it. So I guess that's wind resistance for you. But at any rate, that's the windscreen. I wish I had a script here that I could go off of, but I just really wanted to give you an overview of the bike. I've had it since 9,000 miles. I got 38 on it now, so that's cool. 19,000 miles in, I guess. But I've gone through a couple sets of tires. I have some opinions on that. We've got Continentals on it right now, and I had a set of Continentals on it before that, 2 different models. Both of them wear out pretty quickly compared to the Michelins I had on it to begin with. I had a set of Michelin Road 6 GTs on it, and I got about 9,000 miles out of those tires. That is extraordinary. And the coup de grace is I had a flat on the front, ran it out of air. I was right near John Wayne Airport on the 405 heading south, and I pulled her over to the shoulder. I said, oh shit, man, I got a flat. What am I going to do? And I said to myself, well, let me see if I can get it to the next exit, because I didn't want my wife to come for me on the freeway. So I started riding, and flat tire in the front, thinking I was going to get to the next exit, pull off, find a safe place to park it, and go about my business. And got it up to about 20 miles an hour, and then I'm like, well, let's go for 30. And then I was like, well, let's go for 40. Next thing I know, I'm at 50, 55 on a flat front tire with that Michelin up there, and I got back under the flow of traffic there, and I rode that thing all the way back home to Rancho Santa Margarita. And from where I was at, I'm pretty close to like 20 miles from there. So Michelin makes a great tire. That's all I can say about that. That tire got me all the way back to Santa Margarita from John Wayne Airport. So well done, Michelin. That's going to be the next set I put on it. I've been trying to figure out a way to go cheaper on these tires and get my money's worth out of them, but even when I spend less money, I wind up spending more money because they just don't last, and that's the truth of the matter. And I don't know if that's because it's just such a weighty bike. Like I said, it's 650 pounds plus another 200 pounds of nonsense on it, so 850 pounds on these tires, and they're more akin to like sport bike tires than they are cruiser or touring tires. And the Michelin's are great. They didn't do anything bad. They had excellent grip. I lean this thing way over. You'll see no chicken strips on my tires. And that's just because, I enjoy riding it. I enjoy the off ramps, and I enjoy the on ramps, and that's what I do. But the Michelin's, they held up better than any of the other ones, and the next set that goes on, and it's going to be the Michelin's, even though they're pricey. In the long run, they're worth the money because you don't replace them half as often as you do the Continentals. And I got about half the miles out of the Continental, so that more or less spells out what the difference is right there to me. So coming up on a little bit of traffic here. We're at 77. We'll pop another mile an hour into it. Bring her around, pass them by. And we're coming up on a pickup truck. We're going to creep up on him. I'm at 79 right now. I don't know if it's going to get me clogged up where the the double white lines come over. Oh, look, he's taking a right turn off to the peasants lane. Let's keep cruising. All right, so that's pretty much for the bike. This is a 4-cylinder, water-cooled, 1300. It's got amazing torque. You can pull away from a stop in second gear. It just chuggles a little bit, but it doesn't bark. It doesn't stall. I've installed this bike one time. It's just an amazing machine. And because it's so amazing, it's boring. And I hate to say it like that, but if you want a boring bike that does everything it's supposed to do, that'll get you there safely, that'll get reasonably good gas mileage, that's relatively maintenance free. This bike has a drive shaft, so I mean there's really nothing to do on this bike other than change the oil, check your fluids, make sure everything's good to go, keep a fresh set of tires on it, look at the brakes from time to time, and enjoy the machine. And that's what I do. And like I said, I've put a lot of miles on this the last couple of years. This is the route that I take every day. And shortly up here, we're going to grab the fast track lanes and get on there and see how that works out for us. But again, I do that every day. On the 405, if you're on a motorcycle, and this is to all you gearheads out there, on the 405, if you are a commuter, you don't pay in the fast track. All you got to do is apply for the transponder, get it. I think it was like $40 or something like that. Put the transponder on the bike, and away you go, man. It's that easy. Fast track, no charge on the 405. And I run this all the way up here from, where are we? Creeping up on South Coast Drive, wherever it starts, right by Harbor Boulevard. And I dump off on the 605, so it's perfect for me. Someone a long time ago once told me that haste makes waste in everything. And, sometimes I try and maximize my time by getting through things as quickly as possible, but that saying, that phrase always comes back to me. Haste makes waste in everything. When I started out this trip this morning, I was over at the UPS store, and I had to send I had to send a book to somebody, a copy of The Ashes that I wrote a little while back. And I sent it to him because, and this is going to sound stupid, but it's an interview that I went on for a job that I really want. And I don't think I'm going to get it, or I might not get it. I know he liked me. I know I liked him. I know I have the experience. He's got some questions because it's a different side of the business. It's not the side of the business that I've ever been in. And so there's that, the great unknown. And then there's money. And there's always that. And he's concerned he can't pay me what I would want him to pay me. And I'm kind of hoping that there's some common ground there. I hope there's a way to make it work. Because if there's a way to make it work, I'd really like to work for this guy. Every once in a while, something in life happens where you just meet someone, you're like, oh man, what if, And this is one of those what ifs. I've been on a bazillion interviews in my life, always looking for the job. And it's tough because right now I have a job. And I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking for the job. And that puts you in a different category. The job I have it's tough, it's demanding. I like the people I work with, but the job itself, it's a grinder. It's a mill. It's get them in, get them out. Maximize potential on every single thing. And in typical fashion, and this is the corporate world, it's not just this job, but it's you're only as good as your last miracle. And I'm still pulling out the miracles, but I want to do something else. I still want to pull out miracles. I love pulling off the miracle, but I want to do it in a different genre. The car business is great, but there's got to be a better way, and I'm looking for that way. It's out there. I know it's out there. I've been on this planet too long to not know there's a right spot out there. It's just a matter of finding it. And I don't think it's one of those things you find on Indeed or, you know, looking in the job listings or anything like that. It's one of those things where you just got to be out there, and at some point, hopefully with any luck, you'll meet the right person, you'll make a connection, and it'll take you down the path that you need to go down. And in my case, I'm kind of thinking the same thing. So, back that up. What I was talking about with haste makes waste in everything. I was getting ready to, I was over at the UPS store, sending a book to this fella, and I wanted to make sure it got there next day, so I had to bite the bullet on the next day fare. But I was setting up the camera to do this little thing, because at this point, I wanted to get the camera on the bike, and even though if I don't show the whole video, if I just grab some clips off of there here and there, it'll be, you know, just for the exercise of, yeah, here's the camera on the bike, here's my editing skills, here's what I did. Hopefully the audio sounds decent, and it's a decent piece of you know, content that I can put up there. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of the above. And that's the intention, because two things are happening in this world. If this works, I might do some philosophical stuff on the way to work from time to time, maybe once a week or something. And in addition to that, what I'm trying to do is is get live in the 55 going. But I've had a couple challenges with that. The car so far is running. It's not overheating. It's not doing anything weird that way. I've got no fuel leaks, yada, yada, yada. But I've got this off-idle hesitation in it, and I just can't tune it out of it. I've tried timing. I've done carb mixture. I put larger accelerator pump nozzle in it. And I've managed to tweak it and shade it and lessen it, but I can't dial it out, and I don't know what's going on. So, here's what's happening in the near future. I know I should probably replace the timing chain in it anyway, because it's got some miles on it. My brother Johnny built the motor some years ago, put a Fireball cam in it, so, I don't know, maybe it jumped a tooth on the timing. I don't really think so, because if you've got a Chevy small block with steel gears in it, they don't really jump time. They made these gears for a while with, I think they had plastic on them or something like that, and those came apart. That was a bad idea way back when, but, you know, I don't think they ever did it after that. They learned their lesson, so. But we're going to pull it apart anyway, replace the timing set, and see if the gear alignment's not right. And if it isn't, great, we'll fix that up. And if it is, well, we'll keep trying to chase the problem, and hopefully at the end we'll get to it. But the car does runs really good. It runs exceptionally well when you put your foot into it. The thing just rips right up. But I can't do that with what my intention is. Because my intention is to drive it casually and do my show out of it. And that's where the challenge is. It's hard to drive this car casually. It wants you to have your foot in it all the time. I just can't do that all the time. Although it's fun. My buddy Robert and I were out at it last month, and he did a quick little video on his phones for me, and it was cool, man. We went for a couple rips, and it looks good. Burning rubber, jamming gears. It was a hoot. And if you dig through my Instagram page, you'll see some of that on there. It's there. So give it a look, give it a like. It's me and Robert out ripping around in the 55 and just being ridiculous. But the haste makes waste thing, again, back to that. You know, I'm mounting the camera on the bike, and I got the camera mount off of Amazon, and with no instructions, so it's kind of like, look at it, and I guess think Chinese or think engineering. How does this contraption attach to the motorcycle, and how is it I make it work within, you know, the realm that it's supposed to work in? And so, after some figuring out, I figured it out, mounted the camera on it, went to CVS, got my thank you card, went to the UPS store, shipped out the envelope, and then sat out there in the parking lot trying to figure out what's, you know, how do I sync the microphone with the camera, what's the best way to do this. And I was in a hurry, and then I was getting hot, and I had a sweater on under my leather. I was like, you know what, just take the sweater off, and let's relax, and let's just look at this. We'll set it up the way you want to set it up, and everything will be great. And that's what I did. I took a few moments. So, what does that mean? It doesn't really mean anything, except that when you're rushing something, think in your head, haste makes waste in everything. Yes, you want to do things as quickly as you can, but also take the time, figure it out, do it right, and hopefully with any luck, you'll be better for it. And that's my 2 cents on haste makes waste. So, thank you. Thank you to the person that said that to me. So, we approach the 605. Usually there's not much drama here. In the morning on that side of the road, there's lots of traffic. On our side of the road, not so much because, well, this is the fast track. If you don't want traffic, you pay extra for it in the state of California. Clicker up a couple miles an hour because we got a Tesla behind us or something back there. Not too much. Just get a little more energy into it. They'll probably peel off. Most of them do. Most of them are not heading on the 605. Most of them are heading up towards the city. So probably more than likely you'll see one of these cars, 2 of these cars, peel off into the right lane and head on into wherever they're heading. Me, it'll be the 605 until we get to Cerritos. Yep, there we go. Knew it was going to happen. Yeah, cruise control at 79 is not such a bad thing. I dig it. It's kind of fun going through here. It's cool that there's nobody in front of me because now we get to kind of go through this overpass here without lifting. And it's not like I'm going a zillion miles an hour. It's 78 miles an hour right now. It's just fun to go through here with without decelerating. It's a groovy little overpass. I've come through here faster, but there's really no need to. 78 miles an hour on this machine is where it sets really nice. You can go faster, but at 78 miles an hour, I get decent fuel economy. I get enough speed to get to somewhere. And CSP doesn't really look at me at 78 miles an hour. If you're over 80, they're looking for you. But at 78, it's not a big deal. They got 2 bigger fish to fry. In Southern California, too, you see some wacky stuff on these roads. I mean, sometimes you see people going well over 100 miles an hour, just flying. To the point of it, I don't know, it's just ridiculous. You're looking for a problem, but there's plenty of people in the world looking for problems. The problem is they eventually find them. So this bike is stable, real stable. I mean, you see me cruising right now. I got the cruise control on, one-handing it. I know I shouldn't do that, but it's incredibly comfortable doing that. I set my hand on my left thigh here. I do it with both of them, depending on which one needs a little bit of a rest. When the Santa Ana winds come, though, you got to hold on to both bars. Even though she's, 850 pounds with me and my shit in it, the Santa Ana winds get pretty brisk over here, so they can push you around somewhat. I was pushed around once where I had the bike leaned over like this. I was still going straight. It's pretty trippy. I wasn't really caring for the whole thing. And when you get into those kinds of winds, there's all kinds of crap rolling across the road. Orange cones, street signs, people's lawn furniture. It's pretty crazy out there. So we don't really look forward to the Santa Ana winds. Thankfully, I got enough fuel in it where we're going to get back to, we'll get over to Cerritos at the store. We'll park the bike, we'll go inside, we'll do some work, we'll call some customers, and we'll get the hell out of Dodge, hopefully by noonish. Go grab something to eat, go back to the house, and we'll fuck around with the Chevy for the rest of the afternoon. So maybe I'll bring you guys along for the ride for that too. That's always a good time. Working on the Chevy kicks ass. I just don't know if I'm going to pull it apart yet. I haven't driven it. I replaced the plugs in it last week, and I gapped them. And I don't know. I'm going to try it again, take it for a ride, see if it's made any difference, and see how much of a difference, and see where it's gone. Oh, look at that, CTSV. That's hot. But it sounds like it's an automatic. I mean, not to besmirch a CTSV, but if you have a CTSV in a 6-speed, it's a whole different animal. And, well, that's just all there is to say about that. When we used to live in Heights, there was a guy down the block that had one, and he had the snot cammed out of that thing. That thing sounded great, but also an automatic. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just a 6-speed car is a 6-speed car, and I don't know. Just for some reason, I tend to shower them with more respect. But anyway, all right. Here we're coming up on South Street. We got to kill the cruise control. Start making our way over a couple lanes. Get ourselves into a strategic position to take the exit. And there we go. Peel off the speed. Get it set up. Raise the face shield because that's how I like riding. I have the windshield. There's really no reason to have the face shield down other than trying to minimize the wind noise on this voice recording. We'll see if it had any effect. I don't know. You get back home, put it in the computer, and it sounds like dog crap. But we'll find out together. Doobie-doobie-doo, doo-doobie-doobie. See, the bummer about having Mondays off is that everybody wants to know about their car on Mondays. So, what do? You fucking go to work on Mondays. That's kind of a bummer. But hopefully at some point in time I might work my way around that. I don't mind working Mondays. What I mind is working Saturdays. Mondays would be just fine if you weren't working Saturdays. Working Saturdays is for the fucking birds. Not that I won't. I have. But if I'm working Saturdays, I don't want to hear fucking dick on Monday. And so, we get to the end of our ride. We're going to take a quick turn in the Cerritos Dodge here. Cross Studebaker. Shut the camera off. Go inside. And do some work. Man, I forgot to bring something to eat and I'm freaking starving. Oh well.